Nearly 30 years ago, a brutal murder shocked a quiet village in West Cork, Ireland. The victim, Sophie Toscan de Plantier, a French film producer. For decades, the case remained unsolved, tangled in conflicting testimonies, international legal battles, and community silence. This is the case of Sophie Toscan de Plantier, December 23, 1996, Drinan, County Cork. Sophie Toscan de Plantier was found dead near her holiday cottage. She had been brutally beaten, with multiple head injuries, in what appeared to be a violent struggle. The killing stunned Ireland. Sophie was a glamorous figure in French cinema, married to a famous film producer, and her violent death in such a peaceful village made international headlines. But almost immediately, the case became complicated. No witnesses, conflicting timelines, and one name that would dominate the investigation: journalist Ian Bailey. Bailey was arrested twice but never charged in Ireland, though later convicted in absentia in France. Still, with no definitive forensic link, questions lingered. Until now. December 23, 1996. Sophie found dead outside holiday home, violent beating. No direct witnesses. Ian Bailey arrested, later convicted in France, but not Ireland. The killing stunned Ireland and left a community searching for answers. For decades, physical evidence and conflicting testimony kept the case open but unresolved. Her story became a story about jurisdiction, family, and forensic limits. What could have caused such brutality? Over the years, multiple theories emerged. Some suggested a violent burglary gone wrong. Others pointed to personal conflict, possibly involving locals. And of course, suspicions centered on Ian Bailey, who lived nearby and was among the first to publicly speculate on the murder. But a definitive motive was never established. That uncertainty fed decades of legal disputes between France and Ireland and created tension between Sophie's family, the Irish justice system, and the local community. This ambiguity makes the case unique. Less about a single cause and more about layers of social context, fractured trust, and investigative dead ends. Burglary theory, local conflict theory, Ian Bailey controversy. Cross-border legal tensions heightened the uncertainty and complicated investigative options. Theories remained competing narratives until forensic science gave new reasons for hope. Criminology helps us understand why this case endured for decades, and why it may finally be closer to resolution. First, victimology. Sophie was an outsider in a small, close-knit Irish community. Her presence stood out, and investigators had to consider whether her status as a foreign woman influenced both the crime and the response. Second, routine activity theory. The crime occurred late at night in a remote rural setting. A motivated offender, a vulnerable victim, and lack of capable guardians converged. But the most significant development is forensic. In 2025, investigators applied advanced touch DNA and the MVAC system, capable of recovering microscopic cells even decades later. For the first time, new samples may connect the crime scene to a definitive suspect. Finally, this case highlights justice system challenges. Ireland never prosecuted Bailey, while France convicted him in absentia. This cross-jurisdictional tension left Sophie's family without closure. The new forensic evidence could change that. Advances in touch DNA allow investigators to recover cells once thought lost to time. If the DNA links, it could answer questions that testimony and timelines never could. For nearly 30 years, Sophie Toscan du Plantier's case symbolized the limits of forensic science and the failures of justice systems divided by borders. But science evolves. Today, with DNA breakthroughs, there is new hope that Sophie's family may finally receive answers and that the truth will no longer hide in silence. Her case reminds us, crime is never just about the act. It's about victims, communities, and systems that either deliver justice or let it slip away. This was Sophie's story, and it is still unfolding.